Hi, this is Andy with Elk Grove Cub Scouts Pack 179. I have a great idea for growing your pack. In today's segment, I'm going to show you how to build a ramp for a Pinewood Derby track that you can use at outreach events like back to school night at your elementary school. And everything you need is right in this handy carrying case. I'll show you what to buy and how to put it together. So let's get started. Okay, let's take a look at the Outreach Toolkit and then we'll see what's inside. I like things that are sustainable, so I put instructions on the outside and the plastic storage container can be easily transported in the trunk of your car. So, you can use this for outreach. It includes the track, the ramp, derby cars, some microcars, and some photos. And here's the instructions. Set up the tower for the start line. Connect a 4-part ramp with wing nuts. Attach it to the tower with Velcro. Connect the blue track and place it on the ramp, aligning the pins and the holes at the start line. Okay, let's open it up and see what's inside. We have a Boys Life magazine. You want to have those to be able to give out to families. We have our Show and Smell, Scouts Meet Here, outreach flyer for the school. And then we have a small poster board that you can put up on the table with pictures of Pinewood Derby and various things. We had pictures of cars, our trophies, the boys getting awards, opening flags, and of course our illustrious MC. Let's look at the outreach kit setup and then we'll get everything out on the table so you can take a closer look. We have our Pinewood Derby cars, our tower, our track, our ramp, our microcar starting line, container for wing nuts, and our ramp connectors. Let's take a look at the derby cars and then we'll put the ramp together. Everything in this outreach kit can be purchased at Home Depot, Walmart, or Michael's. I chose to get these Pinewood Derby cars in a kit at Michael's just to save some time. But they are pretty attractive and it's one way of getting families to come over to your outreach table. So, in terms of the track itself, everything is labeled for the simplicity of putting things together. As you can see, the connector is held onto the wood with wing nuts, and then you simply place it on top of the other section, and then you put it together with wing nuts. And then you repeat that process on down the line. There's section B, and section B has a support hinge, so when this is on the floor there's no sag in the ramp. And section A, and then you can see there were holes put at the top of the starting track so that it doesn't slip. And here's the 2 screws. There's a start line there. It says place track holes over screws above. And then in terms of the tower, it's about 18 inches tall. It's got a T-hinge on the front with Velcro on top. And so that it doesn't fall over, we've got a gate iron hook, and then there's also a shelf support here. We drilled a couple of holes in the wood. We'll push that on. There's a hole in the bottom so that it stays in an L shape. And on the back of the starting line, there's some Velcro here that attaches to the tower. Now, you might be wondering why we have microcars in addition to our Pinewood Derby cars. Well, we could not find a 2-lane track on the market anywhere. But what's really cool with the instructions in this blue track that we purchased at the Scout Shop is that you can use 1/64th size microcars. And there's a little starting line guide here put together with tongue depressors so that you can hold it on the track like this, and then the cars would line up behind it and race down the track. So you can either individually run the Pinewood Derby cars, and because there's no side-by-side race there, we have the Microcars, which is another form of entertainment while you're talking to the family. All right, let's take a look at the track setup. All the parts and supplies are listed in the description of this video segment. The tower is 18 inches off the ground. It's held together at the bottom with two narrow utility hinges so that it can fold and unfold. And here are the cars. Believe it or not, this is the first ever running of this track, so let's see how it works. There is a cardboard shoebox at the bottom of the ramp, and the track itself is comes in a pack with 5 sections. Costs $15 for 5 sections at the Scout Shop. So here we go. So there goes the first car, and of course the other cars can race individually. It's kind of fun to see them race down the track. Now let's take a look at the Microcars. The really nice thing about the Microcars is you can run 3 cars side by side, and it gives the kids a true racing experience. And of course you need the tongue depressor starting gate to keep things fair. Alright, let's let them rip. And it looks like the yellow car won. I'd like to show you a couple of the technical aspects of the track. The first is this support arm that's about midway on the ramp. It's important to include something underneath the track that touches the ground surface so that your fence post does not sag too much. And then the other thing on the transition between the ramp and the ground surface is you want to make sure that that's kind of gradual. So that's why we've got about a 7 or 8 foot ramp there, and then there's a transition to the rest of the track. If it's too severe of an angle and you get a tower that's higher than about 18 inches, then your track is probably going to warp a little bit too much at the bottom. Also, you want to make sure that the length of your ramp does not correspond with the exact length of the blue track sections, because you'll put too much pressure on those connecting pins. And finally, to give the kids a little bit of a competitive feel with the Pinewood Derby cars, even though this is not a 2-lane track, you can certainly have the cars run down the track and just see how far off they go into the distance, and whoever goes the farthest wins. I hope the segment's been helpful. I'll be happy to respond to any questions you post. And certainly the bigger your outreach toolkit and the more track and ramp you have, the faster your cars will go. Let's give this one a final push. Happy racing!